In 1991, Linda Hamilton transformed from a rising star to a cultural icon by bench pressing 44 pounds in preparation for Terminator 2, an intense physical dedication that redefined female action heroes forever. Yet by 2009, she'd largely vanished from Hollywood's spotlight, turning down millions to reprise the role that made her famous. So, what the hell happened to Linda Hamilton? Let's fade to legacy. Born on September 26, 1956, in Salisbury, Maryland, Linda Carroll Hamilton entered the world as a twin, sharing her birthday with her sister Leslie. Her early life was marked by tragedy when her father died in a car accident when she was just 5 years old. This profound loss shaped her formative years as her mother later remarried a police chief. Growing up in what she's described as a very boring small-town existence, Hamilton found escape and expression through acting. After high school, Hamilton pursued her craft with dedicated precision, studying at Washington College in Chestertown, Maryland, before moving to New York City to fully immerse herself in acting education. In New York, she trained at the prestigious Lee Strasberg Theater Institute, where she honed the intense emotional accessibility that would later define her most iconic roles. This classical training foundation, rather than just pursuing fame, gave Hamilton a depth that separated her from peers when opportunities finally arrived. Hamilton's early career followed the typical pattern of a working actor in the late 70s and early 80s. Guest spots on television shows like Shirley, Secrets of Midland Heights, and a regular role on the soap opera King's Crossing. But it was her persistence through these smaller roles that positioned her for the breakthrough that would change everything. That watershed moment arrived in 1984 when director James Cameron cast Hamilton as Sarah Connor in The Terminator. What made her performance revolutionary wasn't immediately apparent. The role began as a seemingly typical damsel in distress, a waitress pursued by a relentless killing machine. But Hamilton brought an emotional authenticity to her transformation from vulnerable civilian to hardened survivor that resonated beyond the sci-fi trappings of the film. The film, made for a modest $6.4 million, would go on to earn more than $78 million worldwide, establishing itself as a cultural touchstone. Yet while Arnold Schwarzenegger became an overnight sensation, Hamilton's equally crucial contribution took longer to be fully appreciated. Critics noted her evolution from terrified victim to fierce protector provided the emotional core that elevated the film beyond a standard action vehicle. This performance, while not immediately showered with awards, would plant the seeds for something even more groundbreaking. But it was Hamilton's return to the role in 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day that cemented her legacy and redefined female action heroes for a generation. Her transformation into the hardened, militaristic Sarah Connor required 3 hours of physical training daily for 3 months before filming even began. The result was a portrayal so physically and emotionally committed that it transcended genre limitations. The pull-ups, the combat readiness, the lean, sinewy physique. Hamilton didn't just play a warrior. She became one, setting a new standard for dedication to character that few actors of any gender have matched since. T2 grossed over $520 million worldwide, becoming the highest-grossing film of 1991, with Hamilton's performance singled out as revolutionary. Her work expanded what was possible for women in action films, bringing complexity, trauma, and fierce maternal protection into a genre that had rarely allowed female characters such depth. Between the two Terminator films, Hamilton demonstrated her range with roles like the Beauty Catherine in the television series Beauty and the Beast, opposite Ron Perlman, earning her Emmy and Golden Globe nominations. Her performance in the 1990 comedy Mr. Destiny, alongside Jim Belushi and Michael Caine, showcased her versatility beyond action. Hamilton moved effortlessly between vulnerability and strength, comedy and intensity, establishing herself as an actress of remarkable range. Yet despite this promising trajectory, Hamilton's career after Terminator 2 didn't follow the superstar path that seemed predestined. While she continued working steadily through the 1990s in films like Silent Fall, Separate Lives, and Dante's Peak, the expected A-list starring vehicles never materialized in the way they might for a male actor following such an iconic role. The shadow of Sarah Connor proved difficult to escape. Hollywood, with its limited imagination, struggled to see beyond the muscled arms and fierce determination of her most famous character. The industry, particularly in the 1990s, had few substantial roles for women who had already proven themselves capable of such physical and emotional intensity. The very uniqueness, that made Hamilton's Sarah Connor so revolutionary became, paradoxically, a limitation as executives failed to envision her in diverse roles. Personal challenges also emerged during what should have been her career peak. Hamilton has spoken openly about being diagnosed with bipolar disorder, a condition she lived with undiagnosed for years before receiving proper treatment. "I was so seriously ill," she has said about this period. The condition affected both her personal relationships and professional opportunities during crucial years when she might have capitalized on her Terminator 2 success. Her high-profile marriage to Terminator director James Cameron in 1997, following his divorce from Kathryn Bigelow, placed Hamilton in the Hollywood spotlight for reasons beyond her acting prowess. The relationship began during the filming of Terminator 2 and resulted in their daughter Josephine, born in 1993. Yet the Gees' marriage lasted just 18 months, with their divorce settlement reportedly reaching $50 million, a tabloid focus that further distracted from Hamilton's artistic contributions. By the late 1990s, Hamilton began expressing disillusionment with Hollywood's limitations. "My career had started to bore me," she told the New York Times in 2019. "I thought, I can't do any more five-finger exercises and do another sequel or action picture. I was looking for more challenges as a woman, as an actress, and it just didn't happen." This artistic frustration coincided with her desire to focus on raising her children away from Hollywood's glare. Rather than compromise her artistic integrity or continue playing diminished versions of Sarah Connor, Hamilton began making deliberate choices to step back from the Hollywood machine. She moved to New Orleans, prioritizing a more centered family life over career ambitions. While this choice limited her visibility in major productions, it reflected a courage of conviction rarely seen in an industry that prizes visibility above all else. During this period of Hollywood distance, Hamilton didn't stop working entirely. She simply became more selective. She took roles in smaller films like 2001's Bailey's Mistake and made strategic television appearances. Her recurring role as Mary Elizabeth Bartowski in the NBC series Chuck from 2010 to 2012 delighted fans who recognized the knowing wink to her action heroine past, as she played the secret agent mother to the main character. Voice work became another avenue where Hamilton could exercise her craft without the full Hollywood immersion. She lent her distinctive voice to video games, including reprising Sarah Connor in Terminator Salvation, the Machinima series. These choices allowed her to maintain her connection to performing while preserving the privacy and normality she sought for herself and her family. Hamilton's pivot extended beyond just selective acting roles. She became involved in charity work, particularly with organizations focused on mental health awareness, drawing from her own experiences with bipolar disorder to help destigmatize mental health challenges. This work, less visible than blockbuster films but potentially more impactful, became an important component of her post-peak fame identity. The ultimate testament to Hamilton's principle-driven career choices came when she repeatedly turned down opportunities to return to the Terminator franchise. While other films in the series struggled to recapture the magic of the first two entries, Hamilton remained resolute in her belief that she would only return if the role offered something substantive, not just a nostalgia play or paycheck job. That principled stance held until 2019, when Hamilton returned to her iconic role in Terminator Dark Fate, reuniting with both Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Cameron as producer. Her return wasn't motivated by financial necessity or career resurrection, but by the opportunity to explore Sarah Connor as an older woman shaped by decades of trauma, loss, and purpose. At 63, Hamilton again underwent intensive physical training, demonstrating the same commitment that had defined her earlier incarnation of the character. Upon Dark Fate's release, critics and audiences alike noted that despite the 28-year absence, Hamilton hadn't missed a beat. Her Sarah Connor remained the gravitational center of the franchise. The Hollywood Reporter wrote that Hamilton commands the screen, while Variety noted her fierce, battle-hardened conviction. Though the film underperformed commercially, Hamilton's performance was universally acclaimed as the standout element, proving that her artistic instincts remained as sharp as her character's combat skills. In recent years, Hamilton has continued her selective approach to roles. She appeared in the 5th season of Stranger Things as Dr. Virginia Coyle, bringing her unique intensity to the popular Netflix series. She has also taken supporting roles in independent films that offer her characters with depth and complexity rather than just trading on her action hero past. Currently residing primarily in New Orleans, Hamilton has spoken about finding peace with her unique career trajectory. "I've had an unusual life," she told the New York Times. I mean, really unusual. This self awareness extends to her relationship with fame and the industry that both elevated and limited her. When she does make public appearances now, they're characterized by a refreshing candor about Hollywood, aging, mental health, and finding purpose beyond the camera. What makes Linda Hamilton matter in the landscape of film history goes beyond her most famous role, though Sarah Connor would be enough to secure her legacy. Hamilton redefined what was possible for women in action films, bringing psychological depth, physical transformation, and emotional authenticity to a genre that had rarely demanded such complexity from its female characters. Before Furiosa, before Katniss Everdeen, there was Sarah Connor, and Hamilton's portrayal set the standard against which all subsequent female action heroes are measured. Her impact extends beyond her performances to the choices she made about how to navigate fame and the entertainment industry. In an era where visibility and constant content creation are considered essential to relevance, Hamilton chose principle over prominence, artistic integrity over easy paychecks. That choice required a courage different from, but no less significant than, the bravery displayed by her most famous character. Hamilton's career reminds us that success isn't always measured in credits or box office totals, but in the lasting impact of the work and the integrity with which one approaches it. Her selective approach to roles, her openness about mental health challenges, and her willingness to step away from the spotlight rather than compromise her artistic standards make her not just an action icon, but a model for authentic artistic navigation of a notoriously fickle industry. In a 2019 interview, when asked about her limited filmography compared to her peers, Hamilton responded with characteristic directness. "I never wanted to be famous, I wanted to be good." In those 9 words lies the essence of her approach to her craft and career, a prioritization of quality over quantity, substance over spectacle, that makes her body of work, however selective, all the more valuable. If you enjoyed this exploration of Linda Hamilton's unique career trajectory, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. I really do look forward to seeing you in the next one.